Viewers, I want to begin with a series of rhetorical questions. Since when do Christians need to prove that their Lord Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem? Since when do Christians need to prove, or need proof to claim, the Dome of the Rock? Since when do Muslims have to prove that the Kaaba was where the verses of the Holy Quran were revealed to the Prophet? Since when do Buddhists have to prove that Gautama Buddha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya? Why is that, viewers? Hindus in the land of their religion's birth have to prove where their gods were born. India is perhaps the only land where the dominant community has been struggling for centuries to retrieve their holiest sites dedicated to their holiest of deities like Lord Ram, Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, because some people refuse to acknowledge the sanctity of these places. They question Hindus and their claims over these sites, their beliefs. Viewers, as you know, a number of these matters have reached the courts now because desperate Hindus have realized that certain vested interests might not be interested in resolving these issues amicably. That certain vested interests want to subjugate the dominant community, to go out there and grovel in a court of law. Viewers, it took 500 years for the truth to eventually shake off the shackles of disinformation and surface at Ayodhya. It took 500 years of unflinching struggle and absolute belief to reveal the birthplace of Ram Lalla. Finally, the inescapability of the truth was accepted by the Supreme Court in 2019. Today, another case, a district court has added to the weight of Shiv Bhakts by denying a plea to conduct a carbon dating analysis to the Shivling-like structure that represents the site of one of the 12 Jyotirlingas that are meant to be representations of Lord Shiva. And viewers, which site am I talking about? I'm talking about the Gyanvapi complex. The test has been demanded because the Hindu community has been forced to pursue legal route to reclaim the Kashi Vishwanath site, where the Gyanvapi mosque was constructed on the farman of the zealot Mughal Aurangzeb. Viewers, it doesn't take extra sensory perception to determine that the Kashi Vishwanath temple was desecrated to make way for a mosque. The proof literally stares back at you in the form of inscriptions, symbols, and even accounts from Aurangzeb's time. The Hindu side that came away disappointed today will now move the Supreme Court. As I told you, viewers, the district court has turned down the plea to conduct a carbon dating test on what you're seeing on your screens. But let me tell you, Aastha can be delayed. It can even be distracted by trifling obstacles. But it can't be shaken or denied. Viewers,
उस एप्लीकेशन को माननीय न्यायालय ने रिजेक्ट किया है और माननीय न्यायालय ने ये रीजनिंग दिया क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 17 मई के ऑर्डर से इस एरिया को सील कर रखा था। इसीलिए अगर हम कोई भी ऑर्डर पास करेंगे तो वो उस ऑर्डर का उल्लंघन होगा। तो मैं आपके सामने बयान देना चाहता हूं कि इस ऑर्डर के अगेंस्ट हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे।
आम जनमानस की धार्मिक भावना आस्था को भी ख्याल रखते हुए उनकी कार्बन डेटिंग की एप्लीकेशन निरस्त किया है। कोई जीत हार की बात नहीं है, ये एक इंटरलोक्यूटरी ऑर्डर है। इसका मेरिट पे कोई प्रभाव नहीं होगा, मेरिट पे तो एविडेंस से तय होगी।
So viewers, now the matter be decided by the Supreme Court, but there are other possible options too that could be explored. The Hindu side could seek the carbon dating of structures outside the area which have been sealed, or orders of the top court, that areas the vicinity of the purported Shivling. Experts are also of the view that the Hindu side can request for other scientific investigations like ground penetration radar, which is non-destructive in nature, which will not necessitate the demolition or in any way, the altering of the character of the Shivling-like structure on your screens, viewers. But before we get into the debate, viewers, I want to speak to Vishnu Jain, the lawyer who is joining us from Varanasi itself, where this court battle is been going on for now a few years. Now, Mr. Jain, first of all, many people are calling this a massive setback for the Hindu side. Can you first explain why, in your view, it is not a setback?
See, I don't think... See, Rahul, a very good evening to all of you. And I would like to say that this terminology like setback does not happen in a legal arena. The point in issue is this, that we had asked for ground penetration radar and a scientific investigation of the Shivlingam and the area around the Shivlingam to be excavated and to be and a report to be submitted before the Honorable Court. The Order 26 Rule 10A of the CPC as well as Section 45 of the Indian Evidence Act permits such an exercise where court can call for expert opinion, where court can issue scientific commission to get scientific reports and scientific opinions into a matter in issue. Now, the point is this: if you will analyze the order passed by the Honorable District Judge, the Honorable District Judge has gone on to say that the Supreme Court on 17th of May has sealed this entire premises, so I cannot pass such an order. Now the point is this, that the Honorable District Judge has ignored the judgment of the Supreme Court of 20th of May, where the Supreme Court has itself directed the Honorable District Judge to do the entire trial of the matter and to decide all the applications which are filed in the matter. And Rahul, the story does not end here. After 20th of May, we had filed a 32 petition, Article 32 petition by these 4 women devotees before the Supreme Court. And we had asked for scientific investigation of the Shivlingam. The Supreme Court directed us to approach the trial court, since the matter is pending before the trial court, and showed us the order of 20th of May, where it is specifically mentioned that all the applications will be decided by the trial court. In light of those observations and orders, we approached the trial court. Now the trial court says that we decided because 17th May order restricts the entire exercise, which is completely erroneous, because after 17th of May there is an order of the Supreme Court of 20th of May, there is an order of the Supreme Court in our petition under Article 32 where this permission has been granted. That is point number 1. Now the point is this, the second point, that we had asked for ground penetration radar of the Shivlingam, and as you rightly said, there will be no damage to the Shivlingam. We had clarified before the court that we have not asked carbon dating of the Shivlingam, and the third is that we had asked for excavation of the entire premises. No report was called from the ASI that whether this exercise can be conducted or not. No questions were asked from the ASI. The ASI was not issued notice. And last but not the least, Rahul, that kindly appreciate and kindly examine this aspect, that if one person is saying that this is a Shivlingam and the Muslim side has filed an affidavit for the first time in the court that no, this is not a Shivlingam, it's a fountain, then what's the mode of adjudication? How will it be adjudicated? I must tell you that if you will see that entire video where Shivlingam has been found, the argha of the Shivlingam is still to be found. I want to prove my case through expert opinion. I don't want to prove my case through public opinion. If I have to prove my case in a court of law, I can only prove it by way of an expert opinion. For that, excavation is required, radars are required, and ground penetration radar order is not new in this case. Already there was an order in 2021 where ground penetration radar of the entire premises was directed to be ordered, and against that the Muslim side is an appeal before the Allahabad High Court. So my respectful submission is, Rahul, that the CPC permits scientific investigation. the entire matter was argued before the Honorable District Judge, and this order is erroneous for the reasons I mentioned above. And therefore, we will challenge this order before the Honorable Supreme Court, because it's like a situation of like we are swinging from one court to the other court. The Supreme Court says you go to the trial court. The trial court says that we cannot do it because the matter is sealed by the Supreme Court. Okay. So we will approach the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will clarify this issue.
Okay, the Supreme Court will clarify this issue. Let me bring in Professor Atikur Rahman Saab. Professor Rahman, I just want to ask you a simple question, sir. We all know that this is a matter of fundamental belief. Professor Rahman, even you have certain beliefs. But here, sir, there is an additional layer. If you were just to go to this particular site, what will stare back at you? You will see a mosque standing on the remains of a temple. I can show you photographs. You don't have to have, as I said, extrasensory perceptions. You have also several other pieces of evidence, and I can take you through them if you would like. But to save time, I will refer to one of them, a farman issued by the zealot Mughal Aurangzeb. And that exists, that we must construct a mosque on this site. And all of this is here with me in documentary form. So, Professor Rahman, why go to the extent of filing petitions to block what is really the only way to determine truth, which is to use the tools that science has given us? As Vishnu Jain has said, if things are so blatantly apparent, why file these interventions? Why is the Muslim side trying to create obstacles? What is there to hide? And wouldn't everyone want science to determine today the facts? Why block it? Rahman sir.
Fine, Rahul. Rahul, with respect to Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain and to you too, there are two aspects to what the questions you have posed before me. Firstly, there is no doubt the farmans are there. There is no doubt that anybody enters the Gyanvapi mosque will be looking and staring at a temple, the temple staring at his face. Irfan Habib, the historian, has established the fact that the bigot emperor had, issued the farman. It was demolished and the mosque built. No doubt about that. Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain has pinpointed that why no carbon dating, now why no scientific, apparatus should be used to determine. I will ask you that what is the need for a scientific evidence when the historical farmans and the other evidences are available? The only impediment, what I think, is the 1991 Places of Worship Act, which in due diligence the government of India can repeal, can amend, can do whatever it wants to. My intention is, if this is done, rather than moving to the courts and wasting the precious times of the court, it will create a sense of justice in the minds of the people, that Hindus, Muslims are no more into animosity by the fringe elements. Day in and day out, on TV channels, on the ground, the people are creating such atmosphere that Hindus are against Muslims, Muslims are against Hindus, their scriptures are different. The same theory which came in the two-nation theory, and Jinnah came with the argument that these two communities should not and could not survive if the division is not made. I do not wish to go into those arguments, those litigations. To end the litigation part, to end the animosity, I plead before Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain tell the government of India, which is a known Islamophobic government, a known anti-Islamic government, a known anti-Muslim government, though they have taken an oath otherwise, to repeal the 1991 places of worship.
Okay, now look at the way this has been framed, Mr. Rahman. So even if the government were to today remove this Places of Worship Act, they will say, see, we told you it's Islamophobic. So how do you can't win this one. You will not give up your claim, and you will then dare the government into repealing an act to prove that the government itself is Islamophobic. Yes, Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain, would you like to respond to Professor Rahman? Let him respond. Yeah. Yes.
See, Mr. Rahman has with lot of satire and pun intended, has tried to put this point, but I would like to ask Mr. Rahman that please read the judgment passed by the Honorable District Judge of Varanasi of 12th of September. On 12th of September, the Honorable District Judge has held that in this particular case, the Places of Worship Act is not attracted. And the fact of the matter is that in Mathura's case also, such an order has been passed by the Honorable District Judge. So you may have your quarrel with the Places of Worship Act that is being argued before, and there are a lot of constitutional points which are being agitated before the Supreme Court. On 31st October is the deadline when the central government has to give its affidavit, and when we will have the stand of the central government, then you can advise me that where should I go? Should I go to the central government or to the Supreme Court? So that's point number one. Point number two is, Rahul, that Mr. Rahman has skipped this point where we are asking for scientific investigation. He is saying that there are historical farmans, so why scientific investigation is required? There were a lot of historical research, Mr. Rahman, for Ayodhya case also. But if you want to prove your case in court of law, and I understand that you are also a law graduate, then you need many proofs, not just historical records. Historical records is one part of it which is admissible under section 57 of the Indian Evidence Act. The judgment, the findings of the ASI ordered by the Honorable Allahabad High Court in 2002, ASI report became the main crux for the Hindus and for everyone so far as the Ayodhya judgment was concerned. And today we are asking for an ASI survey. What's wrong if you are saying that it's a fountain and we are saying it's a Shivlingam? Let the ASI decide it. The ASI director Rahul has gone on to record and said that yes, this exercise can be conducted without damaging the Shivlingam. GPR can be conducted. There are various means by which it can be asserted. अभी जो आप footage देखेंगे, उसमें अभी शिवलिंग के नीचे excavation होना है. We had asked for excavation. But everyone has just diluted this application saying that Shivling की carbon dating मांग रहे हैं. Shivling की carbon dating नहीं हो सकती. We have not asked for carbon dating of the Shivlingam.
Well, viewers, we also have, of course, a ASI official, a former ASI official, who was involved in the Ayodhya case, and played out in just a few moments. But I want to bring in Abdul Razak Khan. Yes, I want to bring in Mr. Abdul Razak Khan. Mr. Khan, look. Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain says there is no other mode by which this can be ascertained that the Shivling which has been found is actually a Shivling, other than conducting scientific inquiries. So why is the Muslim side, for the lack of a better word, or the managers of this mosque complex blocking this? दूध का दूध हो जाएगा, पानी का पानी हो जाएगा. अंजुमन इंतजामिया. Yes. What's the point? What's the point?
Rahul, I fail to understand how is it that a scientific investigation, a carbon dating will decide whether the stone is a Hindu or a Muslim. How are you going to decide whether it's a Hindu stone or a Muslim stone? Is it a Shivling or a fountain? 1669 the mosque was built. Before the temple was renovated many times. It was brought down, it was rebuilt, brought down, rebuilt. The last history that we have is Ahlia in 18th century.
If the stone, no, 1 second. If the Shivling or Shivling-like structure, as the court likes to define it, turns out to be earlier than the construction date of the mosque, then it's quite clear, sir, what it is.
Exactly, Rahul.
इसमें तो you don't have to be Einstein.
Sir, maybe the stone was brought long time back and it may have been installed. Sir, this is This has been objected by the senior most lawyer. Sir, this has been objected by Subramaniam Swamiji, a BJP leader and a senior most lawyer who is laughing at this statement that by the scientific investigation, by carbon dating, we are going to ascertain the age of the stone.
1 second, let me bring
I am
in.
not
1
saying
second.
this
Let
on
me
your
bring in
own
Vishnu
channel.
Shankar Jain on
It
this
was
point.
Subramaniam Swamiji.
Okay. Vishnuji, it's not just about carbon dating, even the scientific...
Rahul, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Rahul, see, that's...
Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
See, Rahul, if someone has to understand my application, there are various layers of my application. The first layer is ground penetration radar. There is no response on GPR by the other side. They are only saying carbon dating. The second layer of my submission is excavation. If in excavation, Rahul, the arga of the Shivlingam is found, that's the end of the story. No more further dating is required. And the third is to dig the fountain. We have to see how this fountain is working, whether there is any water management system or not, and how much drill centimeter drill has been done. And the fourth is that we are not asking for carbon dating of the Shivlingam. We are asking for excavation. And when during excavation, a lot of things will be found. For that, we had asked for carbon dating. Please read my application. We had asked for carbon dating of the other constituents of the Shivlingam. And Shivlingam must be ascertained first by GPR survey, second by excavation, and third by any other means which the ASI thinks fit. And the ASI director has gone on to say that yes, this kind of exercise can be done without damaging or touching the Shivlingam. It can be ascertained, and you ask me what will happen if the age of the Shivlingam is found. First of all, we need to see whether it's a Shivlingam, whether we find the arga or not. And second, if the age is found, and if it comes on record by the ASI that the Shivlingam is 60,000 years old or whatever is the time, then the entire theory of mosque, the entire theory of places of worship act, the entire theory of warfare will be demolished.
Sir, how will it become a Hindu stone?
I'm a lawyer, I want
even
to
if
prove
it is
my
an
case
ancient stone,
in the court of
how
law.
will you say that the Hindu stone?
Abdul Razak Sahab, please. Now, 1 minute. Don't cause. Okay, 1 second. Don't cause hurt. Don't cause hurt. No one asked you. No, please. No one asked you to certify. No, 1 second. Let me open this up.
Razak Sahab, black stone.
I'm telling you.
So even we have history of a black stone.
Rahul, arga of the Shivlingam will be found. Rahul, arga of the Shivlingam will be found.
Decide?
What do you mean, how can you decide,
and Rahul,
sir?
let me tell you, this kind of objection was raised.
Rahul, please give me 1 moment to respond here, please.
He's responding.
Rahul, this kind of objection was raised when we wanted to conduct a survey. When initially Advocate Commission survey was conducted, they said no survey should be conducted. There is nothing inside the mosque.
Let me open this up. 1
Why
second. Let me bring another. 1 minute. Let me bring another advocate.
On 6th of May, on 7th of May,
One second. Razak Sahab.
Find anything.
Razak Sahab, please don't be pugnacious. This is not fair. Please, this is not right. You know you are sounding a little off-key today. Please, use logic. Please, 1 minute. Let me bring in Dr. Syed Rizwan Ahmed Saab. He's a lawyer also, and he knows this case. There's also Ratan Sharda ji, and there is Rashid Khan Bhai. So let me first begin with you, Dr. Ahmed. What do you make of the resistance? Forget about the court, but the petitions that were filed to block such scientific studies.
Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram. You have been reiterating to the panelists, not now, earlier also, that why not give up the claim, why not the claim exactly, why not give up the protest or the hindrance, and let's have a settlement. And Mr. Rahman was also advocating this, Mr. Atikur Rahman Sahab. Going back to facts, see, try to understand with whom you are dealing. And then you should make your submission. I am no person to tell you anything about how you should go about a thing. देखो भाई, Jews और Christians में settlement हो गया, Protestants and Catholics में हो गया, Brahmanism and Buddhism में हो गया, सबका सब में हो गया. Muslim का permanent settlement on grounds of religion in 1400 year आज तक किसी के साथ हुआ? No. Did Shia and Sunni could settle? No. So forget about the fact that we will settle with you. You can settle with an African gorilla over bananas. But we won't settle anything where religion is concerned. This is how we have been grown up. And this is how we think. Globally, since we exist on planet Earth. So...
He is creating animosity between the communities. Rahul taking due advantage of Times Now channel.
1 second, Rizwan Saab. Rizwan Saab is speaking.
Not stupid. They are treating.
No, 1 second. Atikur Rahman Saab. 1 minute. Atikur Rahman Saab. What you said was even worse.
Have due diligence.
What you said was even worse. What you said was even worse, which was to create animosity in one community against the elected government of this country. And you created, sir. You vitiated. I allowed you to have your say. This gentleman, Rizwan Ahmed, is a bona fide member of your community. He's an advocate. He is as responsible, sir, as you are. You want to cancel him, you can go ahead. But he is not at any level. At any level. No, 1 second. No, I'll tell you then. Then answer this question, Atikur Rahman Sahab. Why don't you allow? No, then why don't you allow the worshippers free access to the complex? Settlement ho gayi, baat khatam.
Yes.
It's a matter of belief.
That was the original plea.
It was not, sir.
That was the original plea.
You blocked that plea. Every plea you have blocked. Yes. You have even blocked. Forget about carbon dating. You have even blocked ASI survey. Why? Why, sir? If you want to promote amity between communities, why are you today supporting those people who are blocking every attempt?
Shivshankar
No, 1 second. Atikur Rahman, don't try to play the victim card. Don't do this. This is wrong. You have an old history of doing this. You use vicious sarcasm. You use vicious sarcasm, sir, to poison atmosphere. I allowed you your free run on this channel. You created a absolute feeling by fear-mongering that the government was militating against. Militating against. No, 1 second. Don't teach me, sir. Don't teach me. I know exactly where the line ends and where the line begins. Don't teach me, sir. Don't teach me. Because if I silence you, then you will come out and tweet that I stopped you from speaking. Don't try to play this smart game with me. Okay, now 1 minute. Don't interrupt somebody. You want to say something, raise your hand. Let him finish.
Yeah. Can I come in? Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Now I'll come to recent history. See, I'm just trying to help out. You reach a conclusion that how you should open the program regarding settlement in the future. 1985 Shahbano, no settlement. Triple Talaq, no settlement. Rohingya, no settlement. Hijab, no settlement. Ram Mandir, no settlement. NRC, no settlement. So please scrap it out of your mind that we will settle. Now let's talk about law. The Constitution of India talks about brotherhood, but it does not say that people should settle their matters out of brotherhood. For that we have the law, we have the CPC, CRPC, IPC, everything. Now I come to the moot point. I am perplexed at a point. What I am perplexed, and Vishnu Bhai will throw light on it, that I fail to understand whether the contest of Gyanvapi Mandir, which every Hindu believes, it will be Rahul in bits and pieces, or it will be in a holistic point of view about the entire premises. What I feel a right approach, maybe it might take a longer time, it should be fought on a petition that not Shivling, not this, not that, the entire premises should come under the control of government or ASI, and a picture in totality should come out that what this place actually is.
Let me get
rather than contesting in bits and pieces. This should be the approach. Vishnu Bhai can throw light on it.
Vishnu Shankar Jain, would you like to respond to Rizwan Ahmed, advocate?
See, first of all, Rizwan Bhai, I would like to say that the Kashi Vishwanath Act of 1983 UP government has already declared this entire premises as a Hindu temple. Now the point here is this, and Rahul, I want to tell on your channel that we don't have to prove here that the temple has been destroyed. We don't have to prove here that there are signs of Hindu temple inside this so-called mosque. What we have to really do is we have to show that we were prior in time. Please try to understand this phrase, that we were prior in time. And for proving that I was prior in time, we need spot inspection of the premises, and exactly for that reason we had taken out the advocate commission, which was heavily resisted by the Muslim side, and exactly to prove that we were prior in time, this scientific investigation is being demanded for. If there will be a report by the ASI that we are prior in time and the deities are existing there, my Shivlingam is existing there, then definitely we will have a edge in the hearing of the case. Now the point is this, Rahul, that please try to appreciate this point, that now my Shivlingam is existing there. There are lakhs of devotees in this country, Rahul, who want to do worship immediately, right now. Right now they want to worship, but they are holding their feelings because they want that this matter first may be adjudicated. Now when I'll go in the court of law, will I be swayed away by the feelings of the public, or will I have to prove through evidence that yes, this is a Shivlingam, and please grant me puja of the Shivlingam, please grant me rights of puja of the Shivlingam. When I will ask for rights of puja of the Shivlingam, what will I show? Will I show the Farman of Aurangzeb, or will I show the public opinion? Definitely, Rahul, I have to show the expert opinion.
Yes.
And for forming an expert opinion, we had asked for scientific investigation, but all these things have been brushed aside. There is इतना भ्रम फैलाया गया राहुल, इतना कंफ्यूजन फैलाया गया कि हम शिवलिंग को डैमेज कर देंगे, हम शिवलिंग को तोड़ देंगे, ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता है. हर बार हमने क्लैरिफाई किया साइंटिफिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन. Then also you can see your panelists saying carbon dating of the Shivlingam. No sir, not carbon dating of the Shivlingam. Scientific investigation of the Vazu area. और प्रॉब्लम क्या है? अगर आपका फाउंडर है तो वो भी सामने आएगा ना.
They have blocked every avenue. 1 second, Razak Saab. Don't stop shouting in the middle, please.
You are trying to do what you claim that Aurangzeb did once upon a time.
Sir, calm down, relax, take a deep breath, have a cold glass of water, relax, calm down.
Sir,
no one is running away.
Scientific investigation nahi manga tha.
You know, Vishnu Jain is using the only peaceful recourse he has, which is the court. Aurangzeb never used the court. He used the sword. So don't try and make him into...
That was the law of that time.
No, 1 second. Abdul Razak Saab, for a lot of people that remames the law even in present day.
20 seconds.
That was the law of that point of time.
And no, for some it remains, for some who are part of the Sartan Se Juda brigade, it remains the law even currently. So Razak Saab, let's not go down that route, please. Let's not do that. You know, you just have to ask Professor Joseph.
20 seconds. Rahul, 20 seconds.
Professor Joseph. Yes. Rizwan Ahmed, before I bring in Ratan
Rahul,
Sharda
20 seconds.
And the Congress leader Rashid Bhai. Yes.
Yeah.
Rizwan
yeah.
sir, boliye. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Vishnu Bhai, for enlightening me. But there is just a rejoinder, it is not a counter. What I want to ask you, that why, since you are contesting and we are reading and hearing your hard work, why are you limited till the Shivling and excavation of the Shivling? Why aren't you contesting the entire premises? Can you just enlighten me?
Okay, yes. Vishnu ji.
Yes, we are contesting for the entire premises. Let me tell you, Rizwan Bhai, that there is an order passed by the Honorable Trial Court for excavation of the entire premises in 2021 by Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Tiwari, Civil Judge, Senior Division.
Yes.
The Muslim side is in appeal before the Allahabad High Court. The Allahabad High Court has stayed it.
Very interesting.
So it's not that we are not contesting for the entire premises, Rizwan Bhai. We are contesting for the...
Let me bring in.
And Rahul, let me tell you.
Yes.
I would request you, Rahul.
Yes,
that
go ahead. Yes.
GPR survey for the entire premises was ordered by Ashutosh Tiwari. GPR survey for the entire premises and ASI survey was ordered by Justice Ashutosh Tiwari in 2021. The Muslim side is an appeal before the Allahabad High Court, and for one reason or the other, the Allahabad High Court has stayed. Now we got a very narrow gateway to excavate this particular area because the Supreme Court permitted these proceedings by 28th of May order.
So
that's why we are asking for excavation of this Bazu area.
So this is very important. Now let me bring in Ratan Sharda Sahab, who's been extremely patient with us, and I thank you, sir, for your patience. I just want to ask you, because we've heard the Professor Rahman Sahab, who is accusing everyone of standing in the way. Now this is very ironic, of a settlement. He's saying he's the only one who's speaking of a settlement, but what is his settlement? Remove the Place of Worship Act, get the centre to do it, so that the centre can then be declared a bigoted, as he in his words, paraphrase, a bigoted Islamophobic government. Look at the clever sleight of hand, Ratan Sharda Sahab. Even though he knows that both these sites are no longer covered by the Place of Worship Act, and he's smiling because he knows what he's doing. But nonetheless, I want to bring you in, Ratan Sharda Sahab. Who is being the obstacle here?
See, I don't want to deviate the debate into Hindu Islamophobia, etc., the game that Atikur Rahman and many politicians play. We know what BJP has done for the Muslims much more than any other government did previously. Let that rest. My issue is, from where did the entire dispute start? We talk of Bhaichara, no? What was that start? Up to 1992, women were worshipping Gauri there. It was stopped in 1982 by Mulayam Singh Yadav. It was not a law. It was a fiat by the Chief Minister, a political decision. How did it become fundamental right of the Muslims to stop the worship? So women go to court, they create hurdle, it snowballs into a situation where surveys allowed to be done. Surveys stop with unsuccessful these people. When Shiv Ling is found, they call it a Fawara, and that leads to Sartan Sajida Mayhem, that leads to a lady like Nupur Sharma living an imprisoned life, and these people came on the TV, started laughing, ridiculing Hindus and there are jokes all around. From there on, case is going on the court. So this so-called Ganga Jamni Tehzeeb dries up. The way when Hindus want justice, can't we understand the wounded civilization which has faced worst kind of Holocaust, pillage, rapes, convergence, temple destruction for 1,000 years? Despite that, my friends here keep on saying, why are you creating problem? And who are these people? Do they come from Afghanistan? Do they come from Turkestan? Do they come from Mughal stock? No. They are the same people who are victimized like us. We didn't convert. Some people converted. Fine. But why do they want to advocate for these people? He says कि भाई कानून बदल दो. कानून क्यों बदल दो? I would request Atikur Rahman, just a moment, to come together and tell their followers, भैया छोड़ दो इसको, लेडीज को पूजा करने दो. अगर शिवलिंग है, तो शिवलिंग को इनको बाइज्जत दे दो. क्योंकि नंदी का भी मुंह उधर है. We know Nandi doesn't stare in the blank. We know that Shivling is facing Nandi. Knowing this, if this will keep on rubbing salt in the wounds and still want him to blame the Hindus for this kind of bitterness, I think they are responsible for it. So entire game plan is to keep on creating basal. Ram Mandir, who stopped the survey? Who stopped the peaceful settlement? Marxist historians abetting these so-called Muslim scholars who had no clue at all. And that led to 30 years of litigation. That led to so many things. And now they are saying, nahi, yahan bhi yahi hone do. Because they are not interested in puja. They are not interested in mosque because it doesn't belong to them. They are interested in mayhem. They are interested in hate politics. That is why this kind of sarcasm, this kind of points making. Okay, so and this Abdul Raz is one of the persons who was there joking about Shivling.
Ratanji, so let me come in.
Last point.
Yeah.
Last point.
Yeah.
What is difficult for them to put it as a fawara? भैया फवारा चला के दिखा दो.
Okay.
तार डाल के देख लो, कोई डैमेज नहीं होगा. वो अगर तार आर पार जाती है, वहाँ कोई पाइप लगी है, फवारा चलता तो भैया चला के दिखा दो. बात खत्म हो गई.
That's a very simple and logical bit of advice that is being offered here by Ratan Sharda ji. Viewers, I'm going to show you some pictures because Ratan Sharda has referred to Nandi. And we all know, viewers, that Nandi always faces the Lord. We all know this. And if you see the tracking visuals that we're just going to show you in just a few seconds, you will see that Nandi's sight is fixated on where the Vazu Khana is today, in which this Shivling-like structure is situated. I will just show that to you. But till then, I want to go across to Rashid Khan, who is of the Congress party. Rashid Khan bhai, let me just take you through some of the documents that we have. The 1965 Varanasi Gazetteer, let me reveal to you what it said. The report published by the Department of District Gazetteers evidently notes that in the year 1669, both Sri Kashi Vishwanath Temple and Beni Madhav Temple were demolished on the orders of Aurangzeb. So there is historic record. There is historic record. There is archaeological record. Just look at Nandi here. Nandi is looking on from behind gates straight onto the Vazukhana. That's the Vazukhana, viewers. Straight there. Nandi always follows, her gaze always goes on the Lord. And for hundreds of years, viewers, Nandi has been obviously denied this vista. There it is. It's so clear. The visuals will tell you. So there is, as you can see, archaeological record also. Then there are, of course, viewers, surveys that uncovered the symbol of a trident, lotus engravings, Hindu carvings rather, in the complex. Pillars were also found in the basement of the mosque that have engravings of flowers and a kalash. Then you have, of course, the Masir-e-Alamgiri, an account of Aurangzeb's rule written by Saki Mustaid Khan when the emperor was alive. The book mentions that on 2nd September 1669, Aurangzeb's officials demolished the mosque of Vishwanath at Varanasi according to the command of Aurangzeb, and it goes on. There are several other references, as I told you, right here. There are references that have been made by visiting scholars from other countries also, viewers. So, Rashid Khan Saab, all it takes, in the interests of brotherhood, amity, etc., is to stop standing in the way of Hindu faith. No one questions your beliefs, as I began by saying. No one asks you to give a certificate or kagas on where your most glorious Lord was born or lives or what have you. No one. And this is true of every other faith. Why make Hindus go through this rigmarole, sir? When you know the facts are there. Yes. Yes, Rashid Khan Saab. Go ahead.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Rahul. Yes, Rahul.
So
amicably. Yes, hello. Yes, Rahul. Right now, amicably, we are not here to decide whether the structure is Shivling or fountain. And this thing has been presented in the court, and about the evidences and the proofs which you have just mentioned, that will be presented in front of judges, and let them take the decision, and let them give the decision whether it's a Shivling or whether it's a fountain. Let's leave that story to the court. But right now, why the petition has been rejected? Why the petition has been rejected of carbon dating as well as scientific investigation? Just because to obtain carbon fragments from the structure, they need to dig around the structure, and that digging can cause damage to the Shivling or so-called fountain. So now we need to understand that if at all the decision which has been given by Varanasi Court, we need to accept that thing. On May 17, Supreme Court has directed that the place should be sealed. The Vazu area should be sealed. And now that the verdict has come out, and we need to respect that verdict, and it comes hand in hand with our constitution. And the main thing is that when it comes to Hindus' Aastha, Hindus even need to understand Musalman Aastha. Hindus are in majority. Muslims are in minority. They need to respect minorities. Why can't they have a large heart and say that, okay, right, this is Gyanvapi Masjid, let's continue with it. So, like, finding mandir in masjid is hurting Muslim sentiments. That's the main issue. And whether Gyanvapi Masjid was Kashi Vishwanath temple part, whether it was being damaged or destroyed by some Mughal emperor, that's a different story. Let that court decide. All the evidences and proofs are in front of court. Now let the court decide. And now we have to accept the verdict which has been given by the Varanasi Court. It all depends upon the sentiment right now. India is a secular country. We need to understand that.
So Rashid Khan Sahab, I just hope that you will accept if in the Supreme Court this matter goes, and if the Supreme Court overturns the district court's decision, I hope
we will surely welcome any decision.
Well, I will tell you, sir, I will tell you, because there are Congress politicians like you. There were politicians from... Let me finish, sir.
What about 1991?
Let me finish, sir. Let me finish.
1 minute.
Sir, the court gave a clean chit in 1991. Then you should accept 1991 places of worship act. That is going to be challenged.
That has been violated by Varanasi Court.
No. One second. Rashid Khan Sahab, then you should accept this. No, if they have, then you should accept it, since you believe in the court. So if they have, you can't say that has been violated and this has not been violated.
Yes,
you can't pick and choose the judgments that suit you. One court can't be communal and the other court can't be secular. One judge can't be communal and the other judge can't be secular. Let me tell you yesterday. Okay, fair enough. Rashid bhai, you're not.
Yes, Rahul.
You're being selective.
Now,
you're being selective. Let me tell you something.
When it comes to carbon dating, we are trying to change the religious character of the worship.
Okay. Right. Okay. No problems. I understand. That's what the court has said. The matter is going up in appeal to the Supreme Court. If, God forbid, for you, sir, this Supreme Court decides to change the directions, I hope you will accept them. Then there will not be this constant gripe that, oh, the court has suddenly become communal. Because yesterday, just 1 second, let me finish, please. I'm wrapping up, I have to move on. I've heard your point of view. Fair enough. Let's go by the courts. Then don't criticize the court selectively. Today you're in favor of the court, tomorrow you won't be. One judge ruled in favor of hijab, the other judge ruled against
Rahul,
the
can
hijab.
I have 30 seconds, please?
The judge that ruled in favor of the hijab, you called him a secular judge. The other judge was sworn to Hindutva. That is what was said. Yeah, I'm wrapping up, sir. I'm wrapping up.